Hello and welcome to tonight's Paranormal Path Peeps with Dave Preston. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, Jay.
It's really nice to speak to you. So I met you at the Parameet, which
Yeah,
was absolutely wonderful, wasn't it?
it was absolutely fantastic. We did the Bath one, and then we came down to the Midlands one, and we're booked up in the North one, which is closer to us. So
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, it is a bit closer, isn't it? 'Cause you're
it is.
Washington direction, aren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got Carl. So a quick shout out to Carl. And a quick shout out to Nigel, because Nigel, tomorrow it's your birthday, isn't it? Happy birthday, Nigel, and to your sister as well. Okay. Oh, big day for you tomorrow as well, Carl. Is that your anniversary? Oh, thanks a lot. Hiya. And hi, Charles from Texas. Hope you're well. Right, so I said a quick hello to everybody. So we always start asking where you first sort of encountered something which was a bit strange, something you thought, yeah, I want to do this. Your first moment, which is like paranormal. We've got Brew Brothers as well. Hiya.
Oh, like it started when I was about 15. I lost my mother at an early age, and after the funeral, everything settled down a bit. Then weird and wonderful things started happening. Things going missing, turned up in strange places. Started thinking, why is this happening and everything. Started reading more into it and everything. And then obviously got my first job and sort of went quiet. Working in a home years later in a ward. A friend of mine got 2 tickets to take a girl on a paranormal event and they couldn't go. Offered me them for next to nothing, jumped at the chance. And my first investigation was at Newcastle Keep.
Wow.
Uh, Turned out to be an absolutely fantastic night. All sorts happened. I've been hooked ever since. Um, Appeared on more events, and it was me and my friend. We went on an event, and they were looking for investigators, and he dared us to apply for the job. And I thought, God, I'll never get it. And I applied anyway. Went through the process, interview, give us a trial run, and it went from there. I worked for that company for about 3 or 4 years.
Wow, that's incredible. So when you first had your strange encounters and things were missing at 15, what did you think? What did you think about that? Did you think you were just misplacing things or?
It was weird. I grew up in an old Victorian house, 3-story Victorian house, and it was that big. My dad gave the ground floor to me nana and granda, so it was like a granny flat on the ground floor. And after the funeral, my dad went back to work, being on the road for long periods of time. I was sort of looked after by my nana, but I had the full house upstairs to them. So sometimes I actually saw it as my grand coming up, tidying up and putting stuff here instead of there. Asking me gran at the time, she said, I don't know what you're on about. I've never seen what you're asking for.
Wow.
And one night I was lying in bed and I could have swore I heard my mother's voice shouting my name, whether or not it was me, just in my mind wanting that to happen or whatever, I don't know. But after about 7 or 8 months, it started to quieten down. And like I says, I got my job and I didn't give it a thought for a good few years after that, like 5 or 6
Yeah,
years, you know. So it was strange, it was weird.
that's amazing. And then you just sort of fell down the route, went to the castle, and that was it. Amazing.
Yeah, fortunately, this lad couldn't attend it, and he gave me the tickets for next to nothing. I attended it, and I was instantly hooked. Obviously, it was a great night we had. All sorts happened, and it was just I need more. I got hooked straight away, addicted.
Oh wow. It is though, isn't it? Like I used to go for years and you got the flashing lights, you got the beepy things, and you just went along. But then something happens. And once that happens, and once you know that something really exists and you can't deny it,
Mm-hmm.
it's incredible, isn't it?
Thinking back, them days there was no things like your REM pods, your Mel REMs, and all
No, there
this
wasn't.
gadgets we've got. It was basic kit, what we had, but the torches were going off, stuff was draining batteries, people were freaking out. I mean, there was this huge man. I've never seen a bloke the size of this man, and there was a psychic medium there who told him something to reduce this man to tears in front of everybody, and I was gobsmacked. I really was. It was an amazing experience. To be fair, like I say, no flashy lights, no cat balls, no K2s. There wasn't
Yeah.
hardly anything back then. You know?
And that's it. I think you do miss out too much because things can be too noisy and you're sort of paying attention to them. And I wonder sometimes if, like, that's behind me and it's beeping, and yeah, it might be my dad or something, but it happened a couple of weeks, and it's wonderful. But if you're in a room and you've got things making a noise, then you're missing out on the footsteps or the bangs and the taps, aren't you? Or even voices.
Definitely. We believe, like, obviously, I work alongside other people and everything, meet up with a lot of investigators and new teams and everything. It's been an absolutely fantastic year, but a lot of people I work alongside with and who I meet up with believe certain places you go to, the electronic gadgets are no good, so you've got to strip back to basics. And sometimes you get good stuff with your gadgets, and other times you get, when you strip right back, you get amazing results with basically nothing.
Yeah,
You know?
that's right. Do you find like the older locations are better with the old techniques, or because obviously we didn't have flashing lights then, did that? We didn't have gadgets and things like that then.
You're right, it's weird because you could be in like a 1,000-year-old castle or whatever, and you're saying, can you go towards a REM pod? Can you go towards this device with a silver antenna and the red orange light? And they don't
Yeah, I
know,
know. You're trying to
they don't know what
describe
that is.
it.
Right?
You're trying to describe it in terms that they understand, aren't you? And that's the
Yeah.
problem.
It's different when you're leading a group. Obviously, people who are attending your event and everything want to see things happen. What better way to have it happen is to have all these gadgets about.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But if we're on a private investigation, we strip right back. There's nothing better than sitting in a room with an EVP and a camera
Yeah,
uh,
that's right.
3 or 4 hours and just hoping that you pick up on something naturally. You know.
That's right. There is, it's incredible. I was at Wortley Forge towards Barnsley with Team Spirit Paranormal, and wow, we were getting a lot. We were getting actual voices come through as well, and whispering and things like that. And it's incredible to get that in footsteps. And then we sort of were getting hits on equipment and things like that. But it is fascinating, isn't it? So Charles uses a bell on a tight string when there's no wind. That's a good one as well. And use chimes at Haunted Antiques as well. Oh gosh, yeah, Neil's book Bell and Candle. That's a fascinating one. I did try it, and yeah, so that's Neil's story. So both the parameets, he's sort of it was like a séance, Victorian séance, but he sort of calls spirit, and then yeah, the book Bell and Candle. It is brilliant, isn't it?
He attended one of our events up north. Now he's great. Now become good friends,
Oh,
and
that's brilliant.
he did the book Bell and Candle for us in this room, and it was a calm night. It was really calm. There was no wind whatsoever outside, and yet we were hearing this wind inside. I kept leaving the table, going outside, thinking, "What the hell's that?" Neil's away with his book Bell and Candle. He was in the character, and we had a fantastic night. I've never witnessed anything like it. Just off Neil with his book Bell and Candle.
Yeah.
It was a really good experiment.
It is incredible because like I've seen him do it twice now at both of the parameets, and the two candles have gone right down to the wick. The flame's gone down and then it's come back up again. And it's on demand, it's right on cue. And candles are amazing, aren't they? And now with health and safety generally in locations you can't always use them.
Yeah.
But they are brilliant to use if you can.
There's a few places we can still use, and we have done the candle experiment on numerous occasions when we're allowed.
Yeah.
Just lighting a candle up with no guard around it at all and say, can you blow this candle out? We have had it go out a few times. Obviously, we've tried to debunk it. Is there a draft here? Is there a draft there? But
Oh
sometimes
gosh, yeah.
there's absolutely nothing, and you're thinking, well, how's it happened? You know,
Yeah.
it is a strange one. The candles, old
Yeah.
school again, or isn't it?
Yeah. But you can't deny it, can you? If there isn't a draft and it goes down and it looks like it's gone out and it's back again, y- y- it's happened, doesn't it? And you can't get a reason for it. It is fascinating. It
I was
really
at
is.
I was at an event in the northeast, Nelson, Northeast Land Sea and Air Museum,
Oh, I was going to mention that. That looks quite good. I like that. Look at that one.
and they had a little tail light in the middle of the table, and I wasn't even on the table. I was just stood back observing, and there was this girl asking questions. You know, the investigator behind her explaining what to do, and the candle was leaning towards her, the flame, and she was like, "Oh, there's a draft, there's a draft." So he got her to swap seats, asked the same question. The candle went that way. If there was a draft, it would have been going the same way. And then she
Yeah.
moved all the way around the table, and no matter which way she moved, the flame was following her. It was interacting with her. It was bizarre. I
That's
had
weird.
nothing to do with it at all. I was just observing from behind, and it was so strange that it would only follow this one person wherever she sat. The candle went right over the flame. It was good. It was interesting.
I've had something similar. Okay. So it's a lady at Derby Jail, and there's a candle on the table, and she was moving her hands, and wherever she moved her hands, it sort of went to that direction. And it wasn't the draft causing it. And we couldn't explain it, and it just seemed to be drawn to her, like she was magnetic. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
one way
weird,
of
isn't it?
magnetic. Yeah, it was right leaning
Yeah,
right. It's hard to explain.
yeah, that's right. And I did actually video it because eh, you know how a candle works, and it, it could say, "Oh yeah, move your hand there," or and no, it it was just unusual, and you try and make sense of it, don't you? But sometimes
You,
you can't.
you try and debunk it straight away, thinking, "Oh, they've got some
That's
sort of."
right.
There was nothing. Everybody was back, and it was a well executed technique, and it worked really well. And I've tried
Yeah,
to copy it ever since, and I've never had the same as
that's,
what happened that night. But we have had some interesting bits and bobs of it, nevertheless.
it's absolutely fascinating. It really is. I've got a quick story from Carl. So Carl's got a story. 20 years ago, someone he worked with, his niece was stabbed to death by her own mother. She's taken off medication and she's told she would be fine. However, she is not and stabbed her daughter 20 times. The young girl's screams are still heard. Ugh. Is
Well,
that your direction? Is that Bolton way? So
well, still a bit further. It's more around
yeah,
Manchester.
yeah, Carl's Bolton. Um, so I have got equipment behind me. It sometimes does go off. Hi Andy, hope you well. Hi Liz, hope you well. I've got a question for you. Just having technical issues tonight. We sort of had trouble with you joining us. Got a comment here. We're at Chillingham Castle on Saturday, and while we were all laid trying to get to sleep, the REM pod kept going off all night. I was over the moon first time it got off for me since I bought it, and that's it, isn't it? Like I get REM pods, and they don't work for me. Yet other
Yeah.
people get them off going all the time, don't they?
Yeah, I've bought some stuff, quite expensive stuff, and I'm still waiting for it to go off now. That's but when it does go off, then you start thinking, well, have I got proper evidence?
That's
It's never
right.
went off
Like,
in a year that I've had it. Now it's going off. Why? You know?
yeah, it's like I've always liked my EDI. So it's the old one, but you've got it does the air pressure, it does the temperature, and that's always moving. It always does, and it takes a while for it to settle. Then you've got EMF, and you've got the sensor if somebody taps near it as well, and that never does anything. So when it does, it is amazing, isn't it? Like, you're so surprised when something does happen with one of those because generally it doesn't. And it's brilliant.
That's one piece of equipment I own myself, and the vibration mode on the bottom I've never seen work yet. You can tap the desk or wherever you've got it on the floor and it'll go off, but I've never actually seen it go off when there's nobody there. So,
No.
but you're right about the air pressure and
Yeah.
this is
It,
a fantastic bit of kit to own, but I'm still waiting for
it doesn't do it. It doesn't go off, does it?
an expensive bit of kit to just stand there with the light up.
It does, doesn't it? It stands there looking pretty. It's all right for the guests because, if it's a public event, they go, oh, it's flashing orange lights. Yeah, because it's 16.1 to 16.2, so it's a half between, and you sort of, you go in a room and it like drops a few degrees and you go, yeah. And it sort of takes ages to get to the right temperature as well, doesn't it? Mine does.
Yeah.
Until you've got like your baseline temperature, but ideally, I guess you need to get it into the room first. That's a point for the future then, isn't it? Leave it in the room so it's ready for when you go in there. We
It's
have
good
got a
to
question for you. That's from Nathan. Can you tell us what piece of equipment you had witnessed most interaction and activity from?
there's two pieces of equipment. One's my favourite bit of equipment, is my Melrem,
Ah,
and I've witnessed the Melrem go off. I've placed other pieces of equipment next to it, and I've actually had them interacting. Can you step away from this, move to that? But the Melrem is like, it's my Swiss Army knife of equipment. It's does a
yeah.
temperature ring, temperature fluctuation. You've got your REM pod, you've got your milligauss. It's a fantastic bit of kit just to have in your pocket. Or if I go lighter in investigation, that's the first thing I take with us. And
Ooh,
we
sounds
also
good.
did an event with Boo Brothers, and Lee had the Dead Bell from Ghost Stop,
Right, okay.
and we were asking questions, and the lasses went upstairs and had like a normal bell, and they were pressing it like like a reception bell.
Yeah.
They were ringing it 3 times, and we had the bell downstairs. And little did we know, this bell was interacting between.
Wow.
It was doing exactly the same, and Lee will tell you if you ever speak to him again. I went straight out and bought one. He calls us a copy to this day. I had to have one. It was instant. I was straight on the internet, bought one, and it's a fantastic bit of kit. So, 2 bits of equipment I'll not leave the house with when I go on an investigation.
It sounds brilliant. I haven't got one of them. I do like those. They're my favourite at the moment because
Really
I do
couldn't
tend to get a lot of interaction with them.
couldn't explain that night at 30 East Drive how that bell was replicating. I mean, it didn't just do it once; it did it on numerous occasions. And I'd done 30 East Drive about 5 or 6 times previous to that night, and that night was an absolutely fantastic night. It was just
Wow.
from beginning to end, and there's a lot of speculation around 30 East Drive, isn't there? Is it
Yeah, it's always a question, do you go, don't you go? So you've been 5 times. Have you always had activity there?
no?
Right, okay.
3 times we sat in the sitting room and just had a good laugh. There was absolutely, we tried our best to get activity.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely
yeah.
nothing for 5 hours. It was hard work actually leading the investigation. Went back again. I didn't want to go back. I was like, can you give it to somebody else and give me someone else? I ended up going, and I had an amazing night, but it didn't top that night with the Boo Brothers. I was like, obviously, we'd collaborated with the Boo Brothers in putting the charity event on, which is coming up in September. And it was basically going down to 30 East Drive to actually put a face to a name. I'd never met Lee, Sarah, Des, or Lynn. So we
All
went
right.
as an excuse to meet up with them, stayed for the
Awesome.
investigation, and it was unreal. It was a brilliant night.
That's great. Like, yeah, a lot, I do wonder about East Drive. I haven't been, and nowhere is always active. You can have quiet nights anyway, so that's not always, just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's quiet all the time. And it's people's personal experiences, isn't it, really?
It's interesting to go, I would say. Give it a go, say you've been. We have witnessed activity there, so there's something there. But you do have more quiet nights and actual physical nights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a one-off for me. That was amazing.
Yeah. But that was worth going then,
Definitely that night. It was
So,
just to make up
when
with
you
the guy.
when you get a night which is extra special, it makes up for the ones which weren't. And yeah, you're glad you went, because if you'd have gone once, it was dead. You think, oh, I'm not going there again. You would have missed out on that experience. So
Exactly.
it's
It's
there,
you
isn't
know,
it?
been an
Yeah.
investigation and working for big teams in the past. You tend to do you have your smaller events, but you tend to do a lot. Obviously, people ask for them to be put on constantly, and you put them on for
Yeah.
them, and your name gets drawn out of the hat, or you're at such and such a place, and then you're thinking, "Oh my God, you're joking, aren't you?"
There again.
But then you will go one night, and you will have the time of your life. It's just strange how it
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah. But with sort of public events as well, often it can be the guests, can't it? You know, it depends how many have been dragged along, basically. If everyone's up for it, you're more likely to have a better night, aren't you?
Exactly. It's if people are up for it, like you say, Jackie, and they want to get involved and get the energy going and everything, then you stand a chance of having a good night. But like you say, you do get people not get involved,
Yeah,
moping
moaning.
about and leave early.
Yeah.
And then I want to see a ghost, but they're sitting there and not getting involved. Well, you've wasted your money, haven't you?
Yeah, that's if you go, you just got to be open-minded and just take and see what you get, really. So
Yeah.
Nathan, we're at Shrewsbury with the Boo Brothers on Saturday. Had some absolutely amazing activity with the simple Magnite light, and I've seen that as Magnolites are good, aren't they? You know what? People go around calling equipment, going, "Oh, that's rubbish, that's rubbish." But if you see it and you know how it works, it's there, isn't it?
Definitely. You tend to find most of the time you will have better results with, like we were on about earlier, the simple stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Lee and he was telling us about the mag light, and they were all blown away by it, and it was going on and off on command and everything. Like Nathan said, I've spoke to Nathan since, and they were all blown away by such a simple experiment, but very effective.
That's
You can
right.
have the dearest bit of equipment in the world, and does it work?
That's it. And I think sometimes people are just too critical of equipment,
Mhm.
but then if it's acting on demand, deny that's working then.
That's it. I
It's
owned a
there.
K2 for years, and it never went off, and it went off the other month. And I'm like, I'm going to start using it again.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was over the moon.
Yeah, that is one of my first gadgets I got, and like you take it, but you're not really interested in it, but it's still there. It goes to red. Like we went to this forge. Yeah, it was at the forge because I've been 2 locations this weekend. I lose track. And yeah, we're at the forge and it was going red. These 2 K2s were going to red for no real reason. It's a cottage and there weren't any electrics around it or anything. And it's just fascinating when something like that happens, isn't it? So Liz says, "What's the scariest place you've investigated then?"
I knew she would get that question, and she knows exactly what I'm going to say before I say it. Bleskin
Thanks,
House.
Liz. Which
It's
one?
definitely Bleskin House.
Yeah.
We went during the day. We weren't allowed to go in on the night time because obviously there's a lot of construction going on and building work.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. It was dangerous during the day, but we got in. But
Awesome.
we went back up on the night and we just pulled in a lay-by. We
Yeah.
went over to the churchyard opposite it and everything, and it was very peaceful in the churchyard.
I
But
like the
sitting on the
churchyard.
road at the side of Bleskin House in a lay-by, it was just a strange feeling. It was a horrible feeling. I've never seen Liz scared. I was scared, and I very rarely get skitty. But at one point, we sped off further along the road. Like, I think it got the better of us, and we ended up in a little place called Foyers.
Yes, love it there.
And we turned the car around, and Liz came up with a brilliant idea. I'm going to blindfold you, and I'm going to drive back towards Bleskin House. And if there is any energy there, I want you to tell us to stop the car when you feel like you want us to stop the car. Or I'm driving along the roads up and down, twisting. Liz is driving fast, slowing down. So it was impossible to count, which I wasn't counting when we got 4 years. And I just says, right, can you stop the car now, please? And when I took the blindfold off, we were right outside a Bleskin house in the cemetery. It was so weird to
It's
explain.
believable. Yeah.
Liz did it the next night, but from about 8 mile away. And again, Liz stopped us right outside the second gatehouse, just along from Bleskin house, from an
Yeah.
8 mile distance. That was, you can
Yeah.
feel it as you come, right? You start feeling like twitchy and nervy. It's strange.
It is incredible because I did speak to Liz and she sort of mentioned this story as well, and I don't know, it's intriguing there. I did like the graveyard. It was so still and so calm, but I
Being,
like I said a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to find the campsite around there, and I overshot the campsite, and I saw the graveyard. I didn't even realise what graveyard it was, and oh my gosh, I was fascinated by it. I just, yeah, I loved it the minute I saw it. I sort of wanted to go, and then I realised that the house was across the road. It's only when I went to doors that I realised that, oh, actually, yeah, I'm stuck camping like 1.6 miles away from the house, which is incredible.
there's people that kind of, it's great if they still think that, like, you've got the freedom to roam in Scotland. And as we were driving back towards Dawes, you had people just pulled in laybys with tent boxes and camper vans and everything just pitching up for the night.
Yeah,
Where here you would get moved on, there you can just camp wherever you want. Well, we
yeah,
were
that's
telling we
right.
were couldn't wait to get away, and they were camping right next to it with the idiots. So it was strange. Really weird night that.
Oh wow, I've still got to sort out my trip for a few weeks' time, and I don't quite know what I'm doing. So I don't know whether I'm touring or I'm just going to stay in Scotland somewhere, but I'm just trying to sort it all out. I'll get there. But I might have to go there again, even if it's just to the graveyard.
Fantastic.
Um, so Paula says, what advice would you give to a skeptic? And are you a skeptic?
I've been a skeptic for years. Obviously, the more you go, the more you do, the more things you experience and witness. You start to doubt your skepticism in yourself and think, well, I've always been a big debunker. If something jumps out there as I'm trying to think, okay, well, could it have been this? Could it have been that? Even though I know I've witnessed something. Me personally, I'll just keep on going at it. I think I've always said to people who want to get into this type of work or just want to come along and have fun booting on events and everything, most important thing is to have fun.
Oh, definitely.
Don't be too serious about it all. Obviously, we are serious about it. We are passionate about it, but at the same time, don't forget to have fun.
Yeah, that's right. Like we go along and we're meeting like-minded people, and if you have a laugh, it's a night out, isn't it? You
Definitely,
know,
it's.
you want evidence, of course you do. But if you're just going to sit in the chair, just being miserable, nothing's going to happen.
We did an event one night, and we had this gentleman sitting in the corner. I had all sorts of things happening, footsteps, and it was a cheap event. It was a cheap and cheerful event at a Masonic temple. And no matter what I got, he was like, oh, utter rubbish, utter this.
Oh,
And he had his phone with an app on it, but every time the app spoke, oh my God, we've got solid evidence. And I'm like, you're not believing something going off in the corner with nobody around anything, but you believe in an app where it's coming up, it's gold. you know, you
yeah,
can't please everybody.
no, that's it, isn't it?
But I'm starting to be less and less skeptic now as I'm doing more and more, and I'm working with a lot of other people and seeing how they work compared to me and getting
Yeah.
tips. I've never believed that I'm the utmost authority on the subject, and every time you go out, somebody's always doing something different. You're thinking, oh my God,
Oh gosh, yeah.
that's interesting. And I'm witnessing more and more stuff, so I'm starting to become a bit more of a believer.
Yeah, it is brilliant though. Like, I think once you cross a certain line and you've seen something, that it does change things because you've removed all the doubt from your head of the existence of something else.
Mhm.
Because until you actually really experience something, you think, yeah, okay, that's happening, and they say it's probably a ghost, or yeah, you get a K2 and you think, but then if you know beyond reasonable doubt that there is something out there, then it changes things all of a sudden. It's a whole different game, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
So, what's been your most active venue?
I would like to see another one up the northeast. I've done some fantastic ones all around the country, but we have a small event again, which is Mainsforth Terrace, and
Oh,
it's an
where's
old
that?
miners' It's in Ferry Hill in Durham.
Right, okay.
It's an old miners' welfare. It's got a big stage upstairs, like a theatre and everything.
Oh, wow.
The company I worked for at the time, they put an event on one night, and they had people running out, vomiting in the streets, refusing to go back in.
Wow.
They had to stop the event halfway through. Nobody wanted to stay. We had a team meeting the night after, and a lot of investigators wanted to go back as soon as
Of
possible.
course
We
you
managed
would,
to get
yeah.
back
Too right.
before I wasn't there. I mean, I heard all the stories, so I wanted to go back to try and either debunk it or find
Yeah.
what was there. And a team building group went in, just the investigators, and we picked up on a load of stuff. A load of stuff happened: noises, bangs, footsteps above us,
Wow.
noises downstairs when we were upstairs, and there is something there. Whether or not I would have run in the street vomiting like everybody else or whatever, but obviously maybe it's my experience stopped us from doing that. But there was, it's proven to be. We could put it on week after week after week, and it would sell out. Everybody wants to attend this venue.
Wow.
Fantastic little venue for the price they charge.
So, what's causing it? Is
They
there,
don't know.
is there something you're not aware of, like the land or?
The whole of the land, Durham's, it's an old place.
Yeah.
All people now who run the place, because it's based on charity and everything and
Yeah.
funding, keep it open. That there's a couple of people have died there. Caretaker died there, and another.
Okay.
So it has got its resident ghosts, but there's something else definitely there. It's like I attended an investigation. I got there before everybody else. I had the key code to get in, let myself in. As soon as I walked through the doors, I could hear like a cleaner upstairs, like humming a tune to herself. Went
Wow.
upstairs, absolutely nothing there. This was in the first 5 minutes of opening up. Went back downstairs, heard footsteps on the metal gantry, the fire escape, thinking some of the guests have turned up early and have went the wrong way. I went outside, nothing there. And we had a brilliant night again that night. That was just the first 5 minutes of the evening. So I would definitely save me in Terrace for me. Like,
That's fascinating.
you could sell it out
But
week after.
did you get scared when you were on your own?
I'd
Slightly?
be oh, definitely. I was. It's one of them places where you're constantly looking
Looking behind
behind you,
your shoulder.
expecting
Yeah.
something to happen. It's got an eerie feeling about the place. Some places you
Wow.
go and you think, "Gonna have a quiet night tonight." You don't pick up on anything, but this place, every time I've been in it, always you're just waiting for something to happen instantly. It's that active. It's a great place.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. I'd love to go there. You do have some amazing venues. You sort of have real local venues which aren't on the main list, are they?
Yeah, we've got a lot of
Which is lovely,
small, lovely little places. I mean, I've done them a million times now, so obviously that's why I got a bit bored with the big groups I was working with in the companies and
Yeah.
decided to go off myself and do my own thing. Still
Yeah.
put events on and invite people along for an evening. But come summertime and everything, close it down. And this is my chance to get out and about, meet up with like minded people, meet up
Yeah.
with other teams, go to events they're doing, see what they're doing. You know, the weekend ones are fantastic. The best ones I've ever been on was, again, Bow Brothers, Craggynos Castle and Here Castle, back to back weekend in Wales.
Oh, wow.
It was
Yeah, I
absolutely
saw that one.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Good
I
laugh.
keep seeing all the events, but I can't get because the dog. Were you at the galleries, National Justice Museum?
Just gone
Yeah.
with Neil's story and Liz. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was a good night.
I
We had a crack
wanted to go, but
there.
I was away that night, so yeah. That
It's
was
always
one I
been,
wanted to do.
it's always been one of my bucket list ones. The Galleries of Justice, Craggy Nos was, hence us
Yeah.
actually getting to know Lee and his group and Liz and all the other guys who were down there, and we're all still in touch. It's great.
It is wonderful, isn't it?
Mhm.
Just meeting like-minded people, and you get to know people on Facebook, and when you meet them, it just seems like it's the same person, doesn't it, as you've been getting to know. You sort of pick up the character, don't you, really? I don't
And
know
it is.
how, but you sort of do, don't you?
It's great when it's a weekend event because you're not like turning up for 5 hours and then no bye and
Oh,
might
yeah.
see you again. You will say you're in each other's company for 72 hours or whatever. You have a
Oh,
few things
yeah. Have
between
a
and
laugh.
yeah, and it's great. We love the overnight ones and the weekend ones. We live for
Yeah,
them, you know.
yeah. Sort of helps as well with the investigations. So Debbie's got a question. What do you think of the Ouija board?
I'm very skeptical. I do use them.
Yeah.
Obviously, leading investigations and everything is straight away. People, have you gone to Ouija board? Can we do an Ouija session tonight? But I've always been a big fan of the Adameter effect,
Yes. Yeah.
where people can be pushing them but don't realise they're pushing them. I've watched experiments and controlled experiments on YouTube and everything, and as soon as they blindfold them, it stops working. So whether or not it's all, I don't know. I've witnessed some good experiences at the same time, but I'm still a bit skeptical about them.
Yeah.
You know,
I've seen it go wrong, and oh no, it's people, isn't it? So I'm really careful who I use them with. Charles, yeah, the Boleskine House is a Crowley one. So yeah, that's one of the scary encounters. So have you been to any of the others?
any of
It's
the
one
others?
the Crowley houses.
No,
There's one
I've just
down Cornwall, isn't there? Something.
there's that little tiny one. It's like an old shack where it's still got some of the stuff in there. Is it in France or somewhere?
Oh, not sure.
That's one of the places I want to go to where he actually performed a lot of his rituals. But obviously,
Yeah.
being a massive Jimmy Page fan, Led Zeppelin fan, and all, I had to get
That did it for you. Yeah.
a tick to kill two birds with one stone. So standing in the land of Alistair Crowley, then Jimmy Page. It was absolutely fantastic
Oh,
for me. I
wow.
was bouncing. You know,
Yeah. I was looking to get in the grounds a year ago. I did do a tour of the grounds, but couldn't get in the house then. But yeah, it's a wonderful place, and I love the graveyard as well there.
it's just a
Um,
nice.
s- so Paula, do you think children can help on interaction if there are spirits of children about?
Definitely, I think so. And I've witnessed it. At Chillingham Castle, um, Dylan was with us, and Liz was ask if there's any. Liz was picking up on two children in the castle, and she asked Dylan, 9-year-old, to ask for her, and they came across on whatever they were using, Ellie or something. How old are you? 10 straight away. It was a
Wow.
bit, I could have been chance, but a little girl asking and it coming out with the name and then the age one after the other,
Yeah,
pretty much 20 seconds after asking was a bit weird. So
that's
most
incredible.
definitely, I do think children are still the innocent, the fresh, the mind's not clouded by anything like adults. You haven't witnessed anything in the real world yet, have they? So
Yeah.
fantastic. It's a shame we couldn't get them into more events and test that theory out.
They have got a different idea in the questions and everything because I do sort of help host the teen nights at Haunted Antiques, and it's lovely like how their mind works because it is different, and we just do it like week in week out, don't we? But
Mm.
it is a fresh set of eyes on things, and sort of sometimes come out with things and you think, wow, you didn't ever think of things like that, and
It's
it is great.
Remind us that program that used to be on the telly where the kid would try and describe something, the grown-ups would have to try and guess what.
Yeah. Is it catchphrase or
I
something
cannot,
like? I
remember.
don't know. Yeah,
But like you
I
say,
remember it. Yeah. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I
I think
remember
it's
it.
just
I can't
the
remember it.
innocence of the child, and they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't been. The mind's not clouded like ours and everything,
God,
and
yeah. We're not
it was just
that scared.
fantastic.
So it sort of the older you get, the more cynical and everything you are and sarcastic and stuff. Whereas they were just
It
like,
is.
it's just like different, isn't it?
I have.
So
We did.
it's
Sorry.
sorry. Carry on.
No, I was just going to say we did a couple of kids events and all, and they were great. They were. I think they've got so much energy, so much enthusiasm, the
Yeah.
buzzing, and I think it adds to like we all say, get the energy going. You know, let's have a good night. Kids are just straight into it, you know, and
Oh gosh, yeah.
you know,
And I like sometimes you like they come and they're really quiet, and by the end of the night, you're like they're wired, aren't they? You know, they're just like they're not shy. They've lost sort of the shyness, and it sort of brought them out. It's lovely.
definitely.
And
I've
a
had my
lot of
son
them,
on them.
huh?
I've had my son on them, and
Oh,
he
brilliant.
loves it. He goes in shy, and within 30 seconds, he's made 10 new friends. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a great one.
It is great, like how sort of build an instant friendship, isn't it? And like when we've been on holiday, sort of my stepdaughter, she'd just like meet other kids, and you know they're instant friends all holiday after that. It's great, isn't it? We've got Debbie. So, is there a certain place that Debbie should try because she wants to be a true believer? So she wants, so a skeptic, obviously, she wants to experience more.
I would say don't stick with one group. Get about.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
I would
true.
say go on as many investigations with as many people as you can. See how they approach it. See how they do it. See what techniques they use. Like I said, I left the group, a company, and went by ourselves. And since just only been at it for the short time we have, we've been on so many different places with so many people that use lockdown paramate,
Yeah.
went to Billion Explained, filmed down my haunted hotel with Neil's story. And the more people you get, the more encounters you have, the more experiences you have,
Yeah, that's
and
it.
the more knowledge you pick up. It's I would just
That's
say,
right. And
meet
you
as
might
many
not
people.
sort of believe the same as somebody else, but it's interesting hearing someone's opinion. And it sort of can
Oh,
give you sort of more ideas. And yeah, definitely when you see what piece of kit are about and stuff like that. Because if you stick to the same people and the same teams, you see the same old stuff coming out, don't you? But then, there are a lot of new ideas out there. Like Andy Guy's making a new piece of equipment which I want. And he showed it when I spoke to him, and I want one.
have
And
you seen it?
yeah, he showed it on the live.
Is that his multi, the one he's making what does various things? Because I've asked him every time I've met him, and it's not quite ready yet. It's nearly
Yeah,
ready.
it was kind of it was like word based, but then if it's cold, oh gosh, it is
He,
dependent on the strength of the word, really. It, I can't, I can't even
he did
describe
explain
it.
it at Paramount,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I've got my name down for one. He's going to
I want
message it
one.
when it's
Yeah,
ready. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, the way it was sort of written, it was like if it's like a gentle thing, it was a slight yeah, okay. Then it's like get a reaction, and then if it's like a big oh yeah, then it'd be totally different, sort of stronger reaction. It was trying to sort of get it so it worked like that. So it's intriguing because he did actually show it sort of on the podcast. So yeah, I want
He did
one.
say that he would have it ready for the next Paramount. So
Yes,
I've
yeah, that's right.
got my name down for one. So
Yeah, I better sort one out to be fair because I want one. Deb. So Liz, if you've got a group of people with you, you trust there's no difference between using a board, using a REM or voice recorder, and no, it's just a form of communication. That's sort of what I believe in as well. And whether it's it doesn't matter what it is, you're still communicating, aren't you? Scared something bad will come through and decide to come home. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Hollywood's given a bad name, like it's given a bad name to sharks. To be fair, you see all these horror movies and
Oh
wage.
God, yeah.
I think under a controlled investigation with somebody who knows what they're doing with them, I think you're quite safe. You open it and close it, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time it's mass hysteria. To be fair, like I say earlier, how I am a big fan of the idiomator effect, where sometimes people can be pushing it. I'm not saying they're pushing it on purpose, but in the mind, it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I've done it for years since being a kid, and my 10-year-old son's gone to Ouija board and uses it with his friends, and nothing bad's happened to me. So I would try and get that out of your head, in my eyes.
Yeah, that's it. Because I always wonder, how far the stories were. Is it a friend of a friend said this happened? And it's like Chinese whispers then, isn't it? And like
People have
when they do
stuff
these
funny
things,
stories to us.
are they drunk anyway? Did somebody push it? And, unless you've witnessed things yourself, which I've never seen anything really crazy happen.
I'll be honest,
So,
the most times we've used them, apart from investigations, you've heard it on the nail. People get them out at a party when they're drunk and that for a bit of fun. The
yeah,
Victorians used to do it with parlor games, weren't they?
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, I think they're fine. It's just no different from anything else what you do. If you're trying to communicate, that's it. So, what's your dream location then?
I always wanted to go to the Overlook Hotel where The Shining was filmed.
Ah, right.
Um, there's a few places in America. I've still got a few bucket list places in this country I want to do. The Ancient Ram, Skirridin, Jamaica Inn, and I've been told of numerous people, oh, nothing happened, this, that, and the other. But I just think it's more out of interest now.
Yeah, that's right. It's
I'm
nice
going
to
to
tick one off your list, isn't it? Like, I haven't been to East Drive, but, if you've ticked it off your list, you have. And,
yeah.
yeah, there's just loads of places, aren't there? And maybe I need to write that list.
When we were at the Galleries of Justice with the Boo Brothers and that,
Oh,
we got on great with these two Irish girls, and they were saying, "Come to Ireland." So we're thinking about going to Ireland as a team, and they were saying, "We'll show you places with
oh,
unreal
wow.
activity, and they're not paid events. It's places in fields, out in the
Incredible.
sticks, and they're free for everybody who knows where they are. I suppose it's a bit like Pendle Hill. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If you know where
just
to go
knowing
around
it, isn't it?
Hill, yeah, and they say they're all freebies and they'll blow your mind. You pay like 70, 80 quid for a ticket to investigate this. These are free. Come along. So we're going to give it a go. Hopefully.
That's brilliant. Carl says if you get a chance, go to Hollingshead Hall, Unhaunted Well in the Woods, Civil War activity, and there's a ruin of a hall. Interesting. I
Where's that
like
like?
ruins. It's Hollingshead Hall, so that's possibly sort of Bolton direction. So yeah, I have to look at that one because I go camping, so I might have to head that way. Got growled at Mainsworth in the cellar. Can't wait to go back. And that's the way, isn't it? You want to go back, and that's like
Yeah, that's with what I was telling you about earlier on. I think everybody who's attended that event has come
yeah.
away with an experience. I
Oh,
cannot promote the place enough for a nice, cheap and cheerful event.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Is there any location in England, Wales, or Scotland you'd love to investigate? So you've mentioned the ancient ram. Anything else?
We are thinking about doing Lep Castle in
Nice.
February or March.
Oh, that'd be cold.
Yeah, it's another one we've always wanted to do. There's a few places on Dartmoor where I want to do, but they're not actual buildings. They're just
Yeah,
locations on the
outdoors.
moors with stories behind them. I'm a big fan of like listening to ghost stories and that, and then trying to go
Yeah.
to places and find out if there's any truth behind the story. You know,
Yeah,
or like you said, is it just a drunken rumor that's been added to over the years? You know,
that's right. You just don't know, do you? Um, would you do a children investigation? Sam seems
we've
pretty to
already
do.
done one, and it was quite successful. Obviously, I put it on for my son, and a couple of his friends that he absolutely loved it, and obviously other people came along. Definitely, most definitely, because like I said earlier, kids are so enthusiastic, they're so innocent, and they just get in there, and the energy's just bouncing. And on the two or three that I've actually attended, they've had some good activity for kids, you know. And they don't understand what's happening around them half the time. They just see lights flashing or this, that, and the other. But as a grown up and an investigator, you can see other things going on, you know.
You're getting votes to put a light on.
Is that better?
Yay! Can see you now.
Didn't realise it was coming into dark as we were speaking.
Yeah, well, I've just got the monitor. It's just my laptop screen what lights up for me, so I get away with it, luckily. And the things behind me. So, is there an end goal for you within the paranormal? And if there is, what will you do once you have accomplished that?
Keep on going. I don't
How can
think.
you ever accomplish it all in paranormal?
No, I was just
You
going to
just
say
go down one route, there's just like loads of other things, aren't there, and
it
questions?
is. Like I said earlier on, the more people you meet and the more places you go and the more things you do,
Oh,
I don't think there's ever going to be an end goal. Um, there's some real bucket list ones I want to do, which I don't think maybe is the job will allow us to do. It's going to cost us absolute thousands, but there's never going to be an end goal for us. I can't see it. Can't see it anywhere in
no.
sight. The more and more I think I'm getting to know this, I'm getting to know that someone comes along and intrigues us with someone else. I meet
Yeah,
other people who are so enthusiastic, and it just keeps going and going. Where
yeah,
is the
it's
end?
wonderful. So, can you get to investigate the Hellfire Caves in Ireland and take Craig?
Craig's quite welcome to come if we can get there. We were talking about it. We were talking
That
about it
sounds mad.
at Paranormal with Neil's story and
Yeah,
his
Jen,
partner, Jenny.
Jenny. Yeah.
And look, Jenny, it was Jenny who says, "Oh, you'll have to come to Hellfire Caves in Ireland. Never mind the one outside of London." Um, so it's possible we will get there next year.
Want you to turn the light back off?
I think I'll see my face there. That's where it is.
What are they like? What's top of the bucket list then from Sam?
At the minute, I would say I'm looking forward to doing Ireland. I've never been to Ireland, so
Oh wow.
I'm killing two birds with one stone and listening to people who've been there and people who live there. There's a million and one places to do and investigate. I've done England, I've done Scotland, I've done Wales. Not all, but I definitely think it's got to be Ireland next. Like I want to see what's over in that place.
Yeah. I've been to Belfast and I've been to Dublin. Got stuck in a riot in Dublin. That was interesting. But hey ho. But yeah, I didn't actually sort of visit any haunted locations.
I've been told
It's
there's a
just hard
million
enough
and
to, it's just hard getting around a city, to be fair. So
I can't wait.
it's
I've
the process.
somewhere I've always wanted to visit. So that's next. I would say, Sam, that's next on the bucket list. Ireland.
Ireland, that's cool. So who would you like to investigate with, celebrity or not?
There's a lot of people out there going to laugh, but Jack Osborne, Katrina Weidman, Amy Bruni, Dakota.
I've met
Um,
Katrina. She's lovely.
yeah.
I've investigated Arimak Coombe Abbey with her.
I like.
Unfortunately, she had a boo bear what kept going too hot, too cold. Wanted to chuck it out the window.
I'm not a big fan of Boo Bears, to be fair.
It just annoyed the hell out of me. There you are in a room with Katrina and this bloody boo bear.
Uh,
Please.
To be fair, mentioning all the big names, I mean, I've left a lot of big names out, but I'm really interested to actually get on the Stoke Haunted with Craig in
Right,
Leigh.
yeah.
I've never been there yet, and I'm really interested to
All
see some of
right,
the
yeah.
artifacts he's got. And obviously, that's where our charity event's going to be held. So I'm going to be thrown into the thick of things. I'm trying to
It's
keep away
interesting.
from
Yeah,
doing any research so I can obviously cross reference it if I do hear anything.
that's good.
But I would say that's one of the main places and all on my bucket list at the minute is to actually get on there because that's what we've been working towards pretty much
That,
since February, you know.
yeah, that's it. Would you go to America and take Debbie?
Yeah, Debbie, come along with us. Yeah. I'd love to go to America. I think there's well, they've got a mental asylum on every corner, haven't they? Every
Oh God,
street.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Waverley's like massive. Like you just, I saw somebody there, and my God, it's just huge. Just
sort of
you
makes us
just don't
jealous when I
realise.
watch the programs and like we're going around Masonic halls and ruins and that.
Yeah,
They're going to like big prisons and mental asylums. That's their like small stuff, isn't it? It does. It sickens you. Really does.
yeah, that's it. Right, okay. So we're going to mention the charity investigation.
Yeah.
So what's happening? What's the charity? Over to you on that one.
The charity event we're doing this September. It's for Alzheimer's and dementia. We've promoted it since February, since me and Lee got together. Um, we came up with the idea. There's no profit getting kept back. Every single penny that gets given to us is going to the charity. Alzheimer's and dementia have been liaising with us, giving us ideas, and they're absolutely gobsmacked that we came up with the idea to raise money for them.
Oh, bless them.
They were saying that like they've had people do charity runs, charity bike rides, charity dog walks. She says we've never had a couple of groups come up to us and say we want to do a ghost investigation in a haunted location to raise money for us. Um,
That's brilliant. Yeah.
like I say, liaising with the Boo Brothers and everything's went just so smoothly with them. Massive thanks to Lee and the guys. Obviously, we've all worked hard, but I've got to give hats off to Lee. He's been on the ball. He got us the event at Craig's place,
That's
and
brilliant.
everyone's been fantastic. Everybody's been so generous. We've had prizes of Neil Story, Liz Cormel, Neil Packer. Craig's give us the event, actually put the event on the location. We've got signed books, what we raffled off from Dave Schrader, Penny J. Morgan. It's sorry if I've forgetting to mention everybody, but it really
Yeah.
it's been overwhelming to be fair.
You've got
You
the
know,
draws to do yet on that?
we done it last night.
You did? Oh, I missed
Yeah,
that.
I won everything.
Oh, wow. Well done.
I had to rate donate it. It really did look as if it was fixed. I was like, oh no. But to be fair, I didn't buy any tickets. The tickets were what my family had bought. And obviously, I think
Bless
I'm the
you.
only one that's into the paranormal side of things. So I
Yeah.
redonated everything back, which is going to be drawn
Oh.
the night of the investigation.
Oh, wow. That's so
So,
kind of you.
well, it's
So lovely.
we had stuff off my own to do. Tell Harry Achilles actually give us an investigation because dementia and Alzheimer's is close to his heart. So some lucky person won a free night there, two people. And like I say, everyone's been absolutely fantastic. We've had some big names on board.
That's
Rob
brilliant.
Thompson's donated a rating, and it's been great. Hopefully, people will now get paid, guys. Get on the event and watch us live. And like I say,
Yeah.
it'll be a good night, fun night, and hopefully we can raise as much as possible for a great cause.
Or just send in a donation. You don't have to watch, just send a donation.
Yeah,
It is a course which is close to my heart, really, because my mum had Alzheimer's. My dad, when she passed away, he had Alzheimer's and vascular dementia.
mm,
So, it is so cruel. And any money which can go towards researching it. It's a big one, isn't it? It's horrible.
It's one of them diseases I think that affects everybody. It doesn't
That's
just
right.
affect the person who's suffering from it. It affects the families, friends, everybody. It's not just one person in the family. Everybody suffers.
That's
So
right.
if we can raise a little money to help some people, maybe it could be a bit of respite, could be a piece of equipment, could be a holiday, anything
Oh,
to
that's
make
it.
their lives a bit easier and help them.
Yeah, it's so tough because my gran had it. So then when my mum was diagnosed with it, she really couldn't cope with the diagnosis,
Mm-hmm.
and then as things got worse and she sort of got more and more confused and then she used to panic and it is horrible, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a worthy cause and I will advertise it on Paranormal Path anyway. So if anybody wants to donate, then sort of go ahead and watch the live as well. September the what? Which date?
Help us out, guys. I was watching. I'm actually forgetting the date. I'm sure it's the 19th. Oops, sorry, Lee. I've had that much to think about. And 19 questions.
You fit in a mental asylum, by the way.
Cheers, Lee.
Oh, cheers. Thanks a lot, Charles. Take care. So Susanna from Dementia has been amazing. She's been very supportive. Hopefully she's watching tonight. Oh, bless you.
That's a woman's name that's been liaising with us,
Oh,
Savannah.
bless. Yeah, so Debbie's such an amazing cause. I work with dementia residents. Oh, it's just getting attached, isn't it? And just seeing them change. And my dad had an upset. He reverted to a child, which a lot do, and he would only eat chocolate and cake, and that's what he lived on basically.
Bless him.
And yeah, you just let him then. Wanted to give something back. Oh, bless you. Yeah, they
It
do.
seems to
And
be.
it's fascinating.
I was just going to say this.
7th of September.
Yeah,
So
7th.
there
And
you
I
go.
was close. I was only 12 days out.
I'm actually, I might be able to watch that one because I'm actually out on the. I know I'm going away on about then. Yeah, or packing or. Yeah, that's it. Buy a ticket even if you can't watch to help the charity. Definitely. Hello, Nando. Hope you're well. Interesting show the other night. I need to catch up with it. It did a past life regression. Nando did with Paul Goddard, so that was an interesting one. I'll sort out a link on here for you. I'm the one being terrified. Oh, okay. Bless you. Hey, Sarah. Hope you well. So, if anyone's got any questions, you can ask them now. So there's the link: boobrothers.co.uk, charity event 2024. But yeah, I will put the link out. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. So if you can't watch it, if you're not available, you can always donate £5 to, the charity for Alzheimer's. Which, if it hasn't impacted on your family, it may do because with people living longer, it's sort of happening more, isn't it?
Most definitely. Like I say, it affects the whole family, not just the person suffering from it.
Oh, that's it, isn't it? It's horrible. Oh yeah, bless you. That's wonderful, Debbie. I'll certainly get a ticket. Do you believe that if you've got an investigation with people and they're not fully open, you struggle to get many responses or activity?
Oh, definitely. If you've got a group who are just not willing to participate and do anything, you struggle. And I always mention that in my brief at the beginning of the investigation. Look, guys, get involved, get the energy rose. You know what I mean? Let's all have a good night, bit of banter, and we've had some great nights. And then you do get your groups who just want to stand there and just want you to magic something up for them, and nothing happens. And it's sometimes you wonder why you're
Oh,
wasting.
it's so hard, isn't it?
Isn't it?
You try everything under the sun to get them like
Mm-hmm.
jumping up and down, a bit of energy, and oh God. Yeah, it makes those hours just seem like years, doesn't it? It's usually you sort of do an event and everything goes so quickly, doesn't it? But oh gosh, if you get one of those nights and there's people who really clearly don't want to be there, it's
you tend to find
it's
that a
a
lot of the
nightmare.
men are dragged along by the girlfriends and they're just standing in the corner and
This
everything.
is the one, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I've had quite a few of them, and I mean, some of them by the end of the night, I've sort of turned around and everything. Think, oh, when he's put the next one on, this, that, and the other. But when you get a quiet night, you get a quiet night, and it's
Yeah.
they're a nightmare. I can't. There's no way to say. So, answer to the question is most
Oh, I
definitely,
know.
yeah.
You're just hoping something, even if it's a K2 with one little flash, it's like, come on, do it. But
You're like,
yeah,
how long,
it's
aren't
just
you
what it
looking
is,
at your
isn't
watch? Only another 4 hours to go. Yeah.
it? I know. You think, oh God, I've got an hour left. But yeah, and it always takes people time to settle down as well, doesn't it? So you start off an investigation and it takes a while for things to get going because everyone's settling down and getting to know each other. And then you sort of get past that hurdle and it sort of gets going, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
definitely. If you see it,
it's interesting.
midnight and you're alone.
Um,
Yeah.
so wondering, being with a few groups and your tickets are cheaper, how do you manage this?
We're a non-profitable organisation. We believe in splitting the cost of the event over so many tickets and giving the public a little bit back. Obviously, there is some people out there who, I mean, these events are expensive. Some of them, you're looking
Yeah,
at putting
that's right.
Chillingham Castle and places like this. You have to charge £70 a ticket to break even. The smaller
Definitely, yeah.
events, we just split the cost across the board. Try and cover the cost of the event. Couple of quid extra for snacks and we're not bothered about making a profit. That's how we can. Plus, we always take one group. I've been to loads of events where there's 2 or 3 groups, and you've got noise pollution and people walking in on what you
Yeah,
do. And it's an absolute nightmare. It's not enjoyable. Where if you can put one small group on, it's a great night for everybody. So, like I say, we
yeah,
just try and spread the cost over, and everybody pays an equal amount.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of book locations and do that for sort of friends, and we just split the cost. More often than not out of pocket, but I'm not bothered.
Yeah,
I'm getting in a location at you with mates, and it's a chilled night, isn't it? And you're not restricted. A lot of my friends are mediums as well, so you can get it really quite intense in a
mm-hmm.
way that it wouldn't be intense in sort of a public sort of night. So anything can happen, and it's great.
Oh,
Sarah
I
Scott
love
will
it.
tell you because she was one of the victims one night. But yeah, um, yeah, don't make any money, just covers the hire. So, who's the most interesting spirit you've contacted, and or the best capture?
Oh, got us thinking now. Trying to think now. Kind of Liz has put us on the spot here. There's been that many good nights I've had. Obviously, that night, I mean, we didn't, not much happened at Bleskin House again, but it was just, I wanted to get out of there. It was just, I wasn't comfortable there one little bit. Um,
Yeah,
the
it's
manor,
just a shell, isn't it? Like when I saw it, it's total shell. And they're working on it. It's got a roof now because it's green when I went.
the best capture I've had was an EVP. Sorry, Liz, I can't even think what's my most interesting spirit. I've been at it that long, but the EVP I caught at Saltburn Old School while working for the last company. Started an EVP off, passed it around the circle, just said to guests, just say something short and sweet into the,
Yeah.
introduce yourself. When it comes back round to me, I'll put it through the speaker, see if we've caught anything. One of the ladies in the group, is there any children who would have been at school? Can you tell us how old you are? And when it came back round, you could hear her voice, and straight after, just like a whisper, but dead clear, 11. and I've still
Wow.
got it on EVP to this day. Spent a
That's
fortune on
big.
EVPs, the latest ones, and this was caught on a cheap and tacky one from Amazon, 50 quid or something, you know. So
Yeah,
that I would say that's one of my, I've caught images, but you tend to debunk images more of a good EVP. How can you debunk a good EVP?
that's right.
You know, some
As
are
long
clear
as
anyway.
as long as you know it's quite around you, because you've got the issue when if you take the voice recorder home, you haven't reviewed it on the site, and then you're getting extra sounds, and it's somebody shuffling or something. You've not like made a note that they've done that, or
Mm.
if there's a bang, so you don't actually know if if it's something that you knew what it was.
They were all oldish people, middle-aged people. This was a voice of a child, and it was
Yeah,
just so clear, and everybody was just like blown away.
and
And
you
I've kept
you
it to
had it
this day.
there and then. You reviewed it then.
Yeah, I put it through
So
Bluetooth speaker
you
and just
all,
put it in the middle of the floor.
you knew that it was different. But
Yeah,
like when you take, if you leave a voice recorder running, you don't know what sort of environmental factors there are, do you?
no.
And that's the problem. Unless you leave a camera on it.
It was. I've still got it to this day. I'd
That's
go to
awesome.
it, and it's a great capture. I've had lots
Brilliant.
of other stuff, but that's one of me go-tos all the time. Like I was talking about
Right.
that, you know.
That's brilliant. Um, what's your least favourite bit of equipment then?
My least favourite bit of equipment: cat balls.
That's always the one, isn't it?
They're the
Yeah.
first. They're the first piece of equipment you buy, and then as you get on it, you get more and more. I'm not knocking anybody who uses them, but the more and more you get on it, the more you get into the paranormal side of things, and the more stuff you buy, the cat balls get less and less used, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm on these.
cat balls and K2s, I would say now. Um,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
I usually
uh,
leave mine in my bag, to be fair.
I
Like,
always
it won't
take them
keep me
with
out the
us, but
weekend, but
they never get used anymore. To be fair, and SLS cameras, I've never had my
I-
SLS camera out the bag for like 2 years or
I've never had it out the bag. I
so.
paid for it and it never went anywhere.
Aye.
I've never used it. It's terrible, isn't it?
You see people get a figure up when you tell them that it can like map out pieces of furniture,
Oh,
chairs, posts, and that. But when you do get a good SLS figure, and then they're like, oh, okay, and they're just walking, I'm thinking, bit it. It's never been out the box for about 2 years.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. There's me three worst pieces of equipment now.
Do you think weather affects the night?
Most definitely, yeah. Um, again, we did an event at Brunswick Chapel in Whitby,
Oh,
um,
lovely.
church on the hill, and it was going all right again. A couple of cat balls flashing, a couple of K2s going off, and then we had a huge thunderstorm. And after the thunderstorm, we had absolutely everything you could want. Cries, EVPs, people were catching figures on camera, which they never sent back to us, but actually saw it on the night. Everything was happening, and we put it down to obviously the energy that the storm had created, the
Wow.
static in the air and everything. And it was just fantastic to be stuck in a church in Whitby on a hill and for this
Oh,
fork lightning going around you, and the roof started leaking. There was water peeing in everywhere. It was intense. It was great. We had a fantastic night that night. Probably is one of the best. Tell it out. Probably is one of the best investigations I ever did for activity. You
wow.
know. So
Whitby's got a aura about it anyway, hasn't it? Even if
I,
you're not into paranormal, there's something about that place.
Dracula chose it, didn't he?
It's creepy as hell anyway, even if
It,
it wasn't
uh,
Dracula.
it's
Just seeing the Abbey on the top and like the old world streets and everything.
it's great. It's got a like you say, it's got a
I
lovely,
love
it's
it.
got a good feeling about it. But when darkness comes in, it's got a queer feeling
Oh,
about it as well,
yes.
hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I just love it to bits. I really do. I'm not going this year, maybe next year. I find when I walk into a venue or room, I can instantly feel something and get loads of activity. Then, on the other hand, feel nothing and nothing. Do you also get this? Yeah,
Yeah,
it depends on the location, doesn't it, really?
It does. I mean, to be fair, I have been on locations and walked into a place and felt absolutely nothing and thought, I'm going to have a crap night tonight. And it's turned out to be an absolutely fantastic night, but that's based on the company that's came and the people who's come on the investigation. And I've walked into places, had a horrible feeling about the place, also had good nights, but also have had nothing. I've psyched myself up thinking, oh, I feel weird, and nothing's happened. So it's, yeah, definitely. I would say it depends on the feel you get, but I've been wrong a lot of times and had a fantastic night, and I'm not feeling anything.
Yeah, there's some events you look forward to more than others as well, aren't there? Like if you're going to bucket list location, you sort of build it up so much, and then it can fall flat, or then you go somewhere where you're not expecting a lot, and it can be insane. You just can't judge it. You can't call it. It's
I think
mad,
that's
isn't
the
it?
period on the nail. You psych yourself up that much for it, and when you
Yeah.
get it's great actually ticking off your bucket list, but it's quite a quiet night, and yet you go to an event where you've been dragged along to where you're not really bothered about, and you have a
Yeah.
great night. You know, it's definitely.
Oh, so it was Debbie who's sort of got the EVP. So you both got it that night. The
Yeah,
child
Debbie was
in
there. Yeah,
heaven.
that's right. That was brilliant.
What do you think of these big ego investigators? Not a
I
lot.
don't think they're doing. I don't think they're doing anything different to us. To be fair, I think
No.
they've made they've made a name for themselves, and I've watched them all on TV and
I don't
YouTube,
watch it.
and I think, well, they're not doing nothing different to what we're doing. And to be fair, and I hope I'm not insulting anybody here, I think a lot of it's caught off camera, what you see on TV.
Yeah. And it's sort of a question whether they could show some of it, all of it on TV as well, because, you know, the paranormal, you do get some really weird encounters, and the information you get is like off the wall, isn't it? And
Oh,
it's
definitely.
not right for the public, really.
I think some of them get a bit bigger than what they are, and
Oh,
actually,
God.
I've met some good investigators out there who nobody's heard of. I've met good
Yeah.
investigators who people have heard of, and I think that the really big ones, I think a lot of it's fabricated. To be honest, you Zach
Yeah.
Bacon stuff and everything. Yeah, it was good when he
Jesus.
started off, and then he just turned into an absolute lunatic in my eyes.
I haven't
Yeah.
really seen it, to be fair. I think I watched part of one episode. I never really watched the TV shows. I
I
watch a
try,
bit of Are You Haunted. I watch some of the YouTube,
yeah.
some of the real investigations from friends. You know, Ghost Planet Network, things like, you know, if people I know, if they're doing things, I watch them.
Mm.
But when it comes to names and stuff, I can't be bothered with it.
I think you're right. I think you tend to watch more what your friends are doing and people you know,
Yeah,
and you're interested in that because you know that you're going to actually meet up with them and possibly discuss it. Where you meet up with the big, rich, and famous and that, and you know what I've experienced. Some of them haven't got time for you.
yeah,
You
that's
know?
right. I just can't be arsed with it. Life's too short, isn't it? To be fair. I'm certainly not paying whatever quid for an autograph. Sod that. It's tortured. Whatever. The shadow running out Sharnbrook Mill with Liz was a good catch of yours, Dave.
It was Liz's. That, to be fair, all I was doing was pointing to Liz. We were sitting in the theatre, and Liz says, "There's something over there." I'm picking up on a man in the corner trying to hide from us. So all I did was point the camera towards the corner, and as I pointed the camera towards the corner with night vision, picked up on a shadow running up the side of the building. It's definitely a person, but there was only the three of us actually in the main theatre, me,
Wow.
Stevie, and Liz. So to be fair, it was all Liz was doing. She directed me over into the corner. I just picked up on it. The camera did all the work. But looking back on it, Liz is going to give it to a few friends to try and debunk it in a sense, see if it actually is paranormal or if it's just something. But there was no light, there was nothing coming in. It does look good, but
Wow.
hopefully when we get like there.
You see, yeah.
Yeah, but it was impressive at the time. We were like, oh my God, what's that? And we looked back on it 10, 20 times and it definitely looks like someone trying to get out the way of the camera. and Liz noticing them. So I would put that down to Liz,
Really.
not me. I was just a camera guy
Oh,
that night.
Liz is a brilliant medium. She really is. Definitely.
Yeah.
Craig, during Ouija board sessions, does the devil often tell one person to run over and over again? Or was that just a special for Craig?
That was just a special for Craig. I can't remember, to be honest. I can't remember what he's on about. Does the devil often? No, sorry. That one's lost us. I've never come across that. I've witnessed 666 and Zozo on that, and I think, oh, it's.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, we'll sort that one out. When me and Sarah get together, it does go a bit mad. Yeah, we do when we get together, isn't it? The names. Haunted Museum are currently working with the Demon House relics. Oh, we've got pain in their eyes. Wow, interesting.
I'm hoping that I'll get to see some of these things when we actually get out in the Haunted Museum. So I've been asking Lee and saying, do you think Craig will let us have a look at this? Do you think Craig will let us have a look at that? I am interested. You know.
What do you think in demonology?
It's something, obviously, being a paranormal investigator, I know what it is, and I've watched loads of programs based on it and everything, but I don't specialize in that. I sometimes think mental health.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, you're going back into medieval times when they were drilling holes in heads to release spirits and everything, and a lot of the time, is it not mental health? Apparently, a lot of exorcists, there's psychic, there's doctors and nurses go in before they practice anything, if they do, to make sure that it's. I don't know. I'm stumped with that. I'd like to believe in it. I mean, I believe in spirits and ghosts and everything. So why not demons?
Yeah.
It is an interesting subject.
I'm intrigued about it. I think when I first came into the paranormal, I guess it scared the hell out of me. I didn't want anything to do with it. I work in love and light and all that. But then you sort of, I don't know, it gets more and more intriguing, doesn't it? As you sort of do this.
Yeah, you watch these programs and
way.
you see things, and they've picked up on a demon or demonic, and some of the rituals, and obviously, I mean, I suppose I do believe in it in a sense, because why would I have wanted to go up Beliskian House and visit where Aleister Crowley lived?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
he was the main guy out of everybody, to be fair, wasn't he?
Yeah,
So I suppose
definitely.
I do believe in it in a way, because I was obsessed with Aleister Crowley for years,
Yeah.
But I'm not utmost authority on it at all. It's totally different to what I do. Might come across a bad spirit at one point, or what
Yeah,
somebody
that's right.
perceives as a bad spirit or a dark entity, but I've never picked up on any demons yet.
Yeah, I'm sort of doing a demon night on Saturday with Ben from Winfield and Wednesbury Paranormal. And yeah, so that's going to be interesting. And I'll see a ritual as well, so I'm quite looking forward to that.
I don't know, maybe it's when I start getting bored of chasing ghosts and spirits, if I ever get bored with it, I might start looking into the darker side of things. Like I said,
Yeah,
it is an interesting subject.
yeah. It's Dr. Kate Sherrill as well. She's there on Saturday, so it's going to be quite a night, to be fair. Well, no, I won't be doing the ritual. You're all right. I'm just watching it. Don't worry, Sarah. I'm safe. I'm not getting involved in that. Don't worry. Yeah. But yeah, sort of go to Stoke. There's one once a month with Ben, which, yeah, so we're seeing Ben at the weekend. So it's going to be interesting. So have you got anything else to add then? So obviously, September, you've got your charity night.
September,
So
we've got our charity night. We're just hoping we can raise as much as possible for the cause. It has been a long year, but it's been a great year. it's just been so exciting moving from one place to another, doing this investigation, being invited here, being invited there, meeting you guys. We're doing the Festival of the Unexplained,
Yeah.
doing Paranormal in October.
Awesome.
And
It's going to be good.
it's been a nuts year, but the charity event is obviously now coming to
Yeah, it's getting close.
it's getting closer and
Less than a
closer.
month now, isn't it? So yeah,
Yeah, we're just
that's
hoping
cool.
that we've took two new investigators on, so the team's getting bigger,
Brilliant.
and we're just looking forward to what the future holds for us.
That's brilliant.
If we can top this year, then it'll be absolutely phenomenal because we've had such a blast this year. We've done our
It's
own
wonderful.
investigations, but we've had time to play where we get to go about meet, if you like I've just said, you guys, Boo Brothers, Liz. We've met loads of fantastic people, and we've learned absolutely loads. And if there was one thing I could leave this cast with to tell people tonight, is just keep plucking away. And like I said earlier on, the main thing is to have fun and enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
if you have a
it.
quiet night, you have a quiet night. The next one, you might have a good night. It's don't let it,
Yeah, that's right.
spoil you.
Because each night is different, isn't it? And
Definitely.
life's too short. Go out, grab it,
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
I probably scared come off and think, oh God, I could have said this, I could have said that. But
oh, don't worry.
the main
No,
one tonight was actually
charity.
to promote the charity and
Yeah, that's it.
thank obviously Boo Brothers for collaborating with us, and obviously us collaborating with them and getting
Yeah,
it
I
all.
hope to catch up with you all sometime. It's a shame I missed out on the National Justice Museum because that would have been a good one. Because that's so close to me. But
And
yeah.
actually, we are coming next year. We are filming with Neil Packer's new project as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we're one of the teams that will be getting filmed at your
I am
location.
as well. Have you booked?
Yes.
Yeah, I have as well.
Yeah. Aye.
Because
So we're
I
looking
do
forward to
I
that.
do help out there, but I do my own thing anyway. So
Aye.
yeah,
Oh yeah, Neil got in
fab.
touch with us today, and he's confirmed that we're in.
Awesome. That's good.
So that's good. Looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, nice one. All right then. So thanks so much. So get out there and support the charity, everybody. And the link's actually in this, but I will add it onto the page for later. And thank you, everybody. Thanks for all your questions. And thanks, Dave. You've been wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
All right then. Cheers. So good night, everyone. Stay safe.
See you guys.
Take care.